As we know, there was a major accident which happened in the morning today at a place called Pokraya, where the entire train went turtle. About 63 dead bodies have been evacuated and about 150 people got injured. There are a lot of teams which are working over there right now, along with NDRF, the local police, magistrates, doctors, CRP, as well as railway authorities. The rescue operation is on, and I guess in another 10 or 15 minutes the operation will be over, and only then we will be able to tell you the exact figure of death toll.
Let's go across to Alok Pandey now. Alok, scenes of devastation is what we're getting. I know that you have sources on the ground who've been sending you photographs that really telling us, giving us the most up-to-date images of this rescue operation that's underway. A hugely challenging operation for the authorities. But first, I want to get a confirmation from you. The latest death toll figures, we're going with 65 right now. Is that what you're also hearing?
Well, yes, that is what I am hearing. Unfortunately, Sarah, the death toll just seems to be increasing. At the moment, the IG, the Inspector General in charge of the Kanpur zone for the Uttar Pradesh Police, Mr. Zaki Ahmed, has given out a statement where he said that 63 people are now dead in the Kanpur accident. Now, this is being said by the Uttar Pradesh Police. Of course, whether this death toll could go up or not, again, is something that we'll have to watch out for in the next 1 or 2 hours. But at the moment, just to confirm again to our viewers that the in charge of policing operations for the Uttar Pradesh Police in that area, somebody who would right now be heading up mostly or coordinating the relief and rescue operations there, has said that 63 people, are now dead in this railway accident, a major railway tragedy with 63 deaths, and the toll could even increase. You were talking about the pictures, Sarah. The pictures that I was getting from my sources on the ground are of JCB machines, are of gas cutters that have been brought in, and you would expect that to happen because the incident happened at about 3 in the morning. It's now 9:15 in the morning. It's about a 6-hour gap. So in that time, the railways and the authorities have managed to scramble JCB machines, some kind of cranes, and you have these gas cutters that would be used to tear through the mangled remains of the bogies and try and see if there are people inside who are still trapped. The ADG Law and Order, the person in charge of Law and Order in Uttar Pradesh for the police, Mr. Daljit Chaudhary, is saying that rescue operations will be over in the next some time. Now, it remains to be seen how soon that can happen, because even now the pictures that we are getting, and they are obviously dated, they are from, say, perhaps 1 hour or 2 hours ago, are of these severely mangled bogies lying either on the track itself or by the side of the track, from where these gas cutters will now have to move in. And it's a very cumbersome process, Sarah, because you have to cut through the remains. You have to ensure that anyone who is alive can be taken out from those bogies. Any dead bodies can be retrieved. One good thing, if I can say that, is that the administration seems to have scrambled and got together some kind of a response, especially the Uttar Pradesh government. We also got some types of ambulances there. The accident site. These are ambulances that are run by the Uttar Pradesh government, and they are stationed at every rural hospital in the area, and the density of rural hospitals in an area like Kanpur would be slightly big. So those ambulances are there. You have Uttar Pradesh Roadways buses that were taken there in an effort to at least transfer the people who are not so injured in those buses to hospitals. The critically injured and the severely injured are being taken from the accident site to a hospital in Kanpur Dehat. Again, to stress, Kanpur is a very big district. It's about 90 kilometers from Lucknow. There are two parts of Kanpur. One is Kanpur, the city, which is an industrial town, and then the outskirts, the rural areas which form the Kanpur Dehat district. This accident has happened in the Kanpur Dehat district. There is a district hospital in Kanpur Dehat itself, and then there are better specialized hospitals in Kanpur district, in the Kanpur town. So that's where the injured and the critical are being taken. 63 deaths is what the Inspector General of Police of the Kanpur range, the person at the moment who would be the nodal officer for all the coordination that would be happening in the rescue, he's confirmed to us that 63 people are dead and about 100 are injured.
Alok, 6 hours is a long time to wait, especially if you are injured. We're also seeing lots of images of other passengers on this train who've miraculously managed to escape with their lives intact, but they're just hanging around. You see a lot of young women holding onto their baggage and hanging around along the rail tracks. What's happening to them? Because also, in a sense, for the rescue operations to get underway unhindered, you need to clear the tracks also of these people.
Well, yes, absolutely, Sarah. That is very, very important to ensure that who has survived this accident and survived the accident, they be moved out from there. Now, what the government is telling us is that they are getting buses. A special train has been arranged from a nearby location. This train was going, Sarah, from Indore in Madhya Pradesh to Bihar's capital, Patna. And you would assume that a lot of the passengers who would have been on that train would have been people who were whose destination was places in Bihar. And so there will now be an effort to get these people to travel to Bihar in a special train, or even send buses from Kanpur onwards, at least to the Bihar border, which would be towards Varanasi. So that's what they're trying to do. But as you point out, it is important to clear that entire area so that the bigger machines can come in, and perhaps an effort can be made that once you have cleared all the bogies, or at least you have checked that there are no further survivors inside those bogies, then you can clear those bogies and try and ensure that the track is operational. 6 hours is a long time, Sarah, but then perhaps those on the ground dealing with the situation are best equipped to say how much time they will take before they can clear the tracks, because we are all looking at those visuals and they are shocking. The fact that all these bogies are mangled, at least 2 or 3 bogies severely mangled, and that 4 or 5 bogies seem to be affected. So it will take some time before all of these bogies can be removed and survivors can be looked for. Trains have been diverted, Sarah. There are trains to Bombay that pass through this route, Mumbai. Those trains have been diverted. Some trains have been cancelled. This is also the Jhansi. This is also a route that takes you to Jhansi. Gwalior is in Madhya Pradesh. Jhansi is on the border with Madhya Pradesh. So trains that are going that side have also been diverted for now. From other routes, many trains also cancelled. I think at the moment the focus for everyone would be to first see through those bogies, cut through those bogies and check if there are any further survivors, and then perhaps more can be done. So at the moment the situation is still very fluid, but railway authorities, and also saying one more important point that I heard in a phone interview that one gentleman was just giving was that another medical team is being sent in from Agra. Agra is not very far from where this accident has happened. So another team is on its way from there. It will take some time before that can reach. So at the moment, yes, relief and rescue operations still very much on at the spot. And fingers crossed, perhaps, Sarah, that there won't be any more casualties in what has already become a very, very serious train accident.
Alok, this may be too early to ask, but the railway minister has tweeted that strictest possible action will be taken against those who could be responsible. Is there a chance that this was an accident, a horrific accident in which 63 lives were lost and it all could have been avoided?
Sarah, you see, I think like you yourself point out, it's a little early to speculate, but what happens is regular train maintenance, track maintenance is carried out by zone officials or people at the local level who are in charge of checking these tracks every few hours, ensuring that there are no stress fractures, you see. What a stress fracture means basically is that the tracks, because this is a busy route and trains are passing all the time through these routes, sometimes what happens is, in very rare instances, the hinges on the tracks come off, or maybe the track itself can get broken to an extent where it can cause a derailment. Now, like I said, it's too early to speculate on this, Sarah, but it is the responsibility of the local railway office or the authorities to keep checking tracks at all times, especially at night, to ensure that the tracks are in proper working condition. So was that done, was that not done, or perhaps was something overlooked? That is a big question right now, but till we have an official reason as to what happened, what led to the derailment, perhaps it would be unfair to lay the blame on anyone, but the minister, as you pointed out, tweeting that whoever is responsible for any kind of laxity, if it is found in a probe, action will be taken against that person.
And Alok, it has now been 6 hours since this accident, and the relatives and the family members of those who were on that train must be frantic. What are the authorities doing to try and, assuage them, letting them know who the dead are? When will the names be released? Are the helplines working? What's happening on the ground on that front?
this train was going from Indore in Madhya Pradesh to Patna, which is Bihar's capital. So a lot of these, the passengers on board these bogies would have been people bound perhaps for Bihar or at least the bordering areas of Uttar Pradesh with Bihar. So helpline numbers have been issued. In fact, what we can also do to help is that we could flash those numbers time and again on our screens so that people can start calling them. We don't know if all those helplines are working correctly or not, but a lot of numbers have been given out, and you would at least assume that the railway and the district administration, or whoever is manning those helplines, will be proactive in giving out information. I think we'll have a death toll, so I think we'll have an identification of the people soon, Sarah, but it takes some time because, you see, there is a reserve list in any train which has passengers who are reserved, who have their names on the reservation chart and who are sitting inside those trains. And then in these long-distance trains, especially trains bound for northern and eastern India, you have a situation where a lot of people buy what you call general tickets and get onto reserved compartments also because they want to travel, they have urgent travel plans. So sometimes it takes some time to identify everyone because you can, from the reserve list, you can find out names, but you again have a situation where there are people who are just there without any reservation. So it will take some time for the railways perhaps to identify each and every person and to inform their families or to at least flash out their names so that the families can get to know.